And here at home, the plan isn't as clear. President Obama raising serious questions with his response to the powerful terrorist threat yesterday.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse. We don't have a strategy yet. I think what I've seen in some of the news reports suggests that folks are getting a little further ahead of where we're at than we currently are.
Here now to discuss NewOak co-founder and president James Frischling, Barron's senior editor Jack Howe, and of course our very own Fox Business's Tracy Burns. So Jack, I'll start with you on this. What is your take coming out of this? Do you think that Prime Minister Cameron's reaction will perhaps influence the White House?
I would hope so. He seems to be a little more vociferous right now than our president. The UK is going to have to put some stronger rules on the books to revoke passports. I think there was a real wake-up call when you saw this murderer on the beheading video with a accent, and people there are thinking maybe this keep calm and carry on attitude we've had with these radical preachers talking about spreading Sharia law in the UK and elsewhere. Maybe that's not the right approach anymore. Maybe we need something stronger.
So, James, what should the response be? How specific? Obviously, Cameron wasn't that specific.
No, and actually, I recognize it was a PR blunder by the White House and by the president, but the fact is, I actually think he said the truth. We don't have a strategy. Now they're backtracking off that. Cameron didn't say anything. He used a lot of verbiage. There is no concrete strategy. Look, there are actions, and there'll be consequences to our actions, and there are also consequences to our inactions. I think a lot of what's going on now has to do with our inactivity, our not getting involved in Syria in the first place. But the fact is, we don't have a strategy. We are going to need to be far more aggressive. But this is a group that you cannot negotiate with. So neither country has a plan right now, and actually the president just admitted it.
But I think Cameron's words were a lot harsher than ours have been out of our president. I mean, he's really wishy-washy out of it. This guy was like, we can't ignore this. This is a threat. And I think the big thing for Europe right now is how much longer can their economy handle sanctions? Probably not that long. So these guys really have to jump on the bandwagon, definitely much quicker than we are, clearly, yes, by our president dragging his feet in his tan suit the other day.
The tan suit, well, we can't forget about that. He did not repeat that today when he was getting on the airplane for fundraisers. Jack, the market, though, didn't react at all. Why is that?
Well, I think there are, the stock market, what are people going to put their money into? They bail out of their stocks. Where are they going into? Bonds, I don't think have looked riskier in my lifetime right now because yields are so low. There's just not a good alternative out there, so I think people are hanging in. They're figuring that stocks are the best of a bad set of choices.
But isn't it the oil market, too? Right? The oil market hasn't reacted yet. The oil market's not nervous about this.
Right.
So if
there's so much excess supply right now. I mean,
and plus, they're not near the dangerous parts.
We've got a boom here in the U.S.
I think we're almost getting numb to the conflict in the Middle East and trouble in Syria and Iraq.
What would have to happen to move this at all, especially with such light volume right now being August, right?
I think that's right. And to Jack's point, again, there's not a lot of places to deploy capital, so
something is going to happen. I mean, it's inevitable. This situation can't be allowed to continue. Probably going to see something like U.S. airstrikes with some sort of ground coalition from locals there.
So some serious movement, is what you're saying. All right, well, turning now to the markets, Apple is still on its record-breaking run, hitting a new high of $102.90 in today's trade. The hot streak is coming from the news that the iPhone 6, multiple versions of it, will include mobile payment capabilities. Tracy, what do you think? We've got the invitation now. We have a wearable, potentially, and now we have payments?
I feel like I should be asking you this because you cover this so much better than all of us here. Look, I'm all about it. My house is all Apple. My kids are waiting on pins and needles to get that 6. I'm psyched. I'm psyched for the company, for the stock. And you know what? Good for Tim Cook, because everyone was trying to say he's no Steve Jobs, and I think he's doing a pretty good job here.
Well, Jack, there's a lot of competition out there, right? We've got Square, Google Wallet. You have all kinds of different things. PayPal, of course. Does this actually make a huge difference? Because some of those Apple products don't necessarily take off.
Apple's in a great position of being so profitable that it's able to tinker with some side businesses and see what works. And it's all about supporting the ecosystem that gets people to continue to buy Apple hardware. I think this upgrade cycle for the iPhone 6 will be huge based on surveys of people wanting those larger screens. And this is the stock's usual pattern. It trades up, going up to an iPhone announcement, and after that it sells off a bit.
We may see
Buy the
Come
rumor,
down.
sell the news.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to deliver on the orders. The iWatch is going to be delayed, and when the first iPhone was delayed 6 months after the whole the juggernaut of the marketing campaign. So while I like it long term, the fact is this thing is going to.
But you've even reported on how many people are sitting home waiting to upgrade. Like there's going to be a monstrous amount of people upgrading. They need a phone.
They need a phone.
They need a phone. That 4 is falling apart at the seams in my house.
But that wearable seems to be the real clincher. It may not actually come out till next year now, but seems to be that is the innovation hotbed that they really need. But moving on, Uber driving in the fast lane, claiming it is now available to 55% of the U.S. population. The car-hailing company shrugging off recent controversy against rival Lyft, rolling out in 22 college towns. Uber, good idea, right?
It's kind of awesome. I have to say, this company is too big to stop right now. The biggest challenge of the company is regulation and potentially courts and whatnot, and they've proven that they could work successfully even here in New York City with the Taxi Commission. The university thing, students, accessible, cost-effective, and what a great marketing campaign about the safety, dealing with drunk driving and whatnot. This is a home run for Uber.
There is a lack of a home run in their relationship with Lyft. It seems like there's a ton of controversy. Is this kosher?
Well, they're getting down and dirty and going after drivers. You've got guys who were calling Lyft for a ride, and then when they get in the car, they pitch them on coming over to Uber and so forth. But hey, look, suddenly drivers are in demand. You know, let them fight over drivers. Maybe drivers will get better pay out of the deal.
I think it's great for both companies. I think part of me thinks they're in cahoots too, and they're like, let's do this fight thing so that it calls all this media to get attention. Because everyone's talking about it, everyone's doing it. I think they're both going to win in the end.
Well, speaking of winning, the Kansas City Royals no longer stink, and neither does one of their players. Catcher Salvatore Perez admitting that his game day ritual includes dousing himself with Victoria's Secret perfume. Apparently the team picked up on this, Tracy.
I watched the interview. It was so cute. He tried it because someone did it once and it was good luck. And baseball players.
It's women's perfume, right?
Yes, but it's a superstitious thing. It's much like my son doesn't change his socks. It's the same thing. It's funny.
I mean, maybe he needs some perfume then.
It's a little bit weird, but I've been riding New York's subway system in August. There's a lot of people out there who aren't doing enough scrub-a-dub-dub under the arms right now. I don't want anything that makes people smell better. I'm all for it.
I don't want to be the counter, but and they can express themselves any way they want. But if too many players start doing this, baseball officials who control uniforms, who control the belt clip, they are going to knock this thing out. I was a young trainee on a trading desk. I wore a little aftershave. I got heckled into the bathroom because I washed up. And I'm telling you, if too many players do this and that smell, they're going to kill this thing.
I'm pretty sure you don't have to worry about a run on Victoria's Secret perfume in the major leagues. That's just me.
All right, well, we'll have to leave it there. Thanks, guys, so much for joining us. Do you ever crave a little champagne with your pancakes? The first ever Denny's opening in New York City today, and you can get just that. But with everything from exposed brick to a craft cocktail bar, this is definitely not your ordinary diner. Money spoke to some Grand Slam fans down on Wall Street. Take a listen.
We've been waiting for this for over a year.
We have great breakfast, great menu, so interested in how it's going to be here and turn out in New York City.
It's the fanciest Denny's we've seen too, but it feels very New Yorky, so we kind of like it.
It's really fancy. The bottle specials are great. That Grand Cru Slam is fantastic. Apparently they won't serve it until 11 a.m. We'll see if I can convince her to come twice in a day.
The city is known for their bars and their nightlife, so why not start at Denny's, right? And then have some food after, right?
I came here before work. I just wanted to get a mimosa at a Denny's that serves mimosas because that's fun, and they don't do it till 11. I'm sad. Like on a weekend, I guess after 11, I will be back.
Wow, has she already been drinking mimosas already? That was ridiculous. I love it. Everyone's so enthusiastic. Yeah. Tracy, do you have a date out of this? Are we going to go?
The only reason you go to Denny's is on your birthday because you get a free Grand Slam meal, and when you're drunk at 2 o'clock in the morning. This is not Denny's. Like our generation, us old folks sitting here, remember the old Denny's. The new young people don't even know what the old Denny's is all about, and they probably will go.
So is this revival actually going to work?
It is going to work in New York City. This will be hipster heaven.
That is it.
If there's two things New Yorkers love, one is some kind of association with a working class brand type of thing, and two is not really having the discomforts associated with that brand. So you posh up a Denny's, people will feel cool for going in New York. I don't know.
Right, they'll think they're slumming it.
I'm not sure why, but I know them, and I know that they will. They
Okay,
will
so
love it.
hipster Instagram heaven, I see it now. But James, let's talk about the bottom line here. Denny's does need help, right? All these retail restaurants really are hurting right now.
I do think they need help, but this concept, as Tracy said, has so little to do with Denny's that I'm trying to figure out why they're paying a franchise fee to Denny's, unless it's because they want us to do what we're doing right now, which is talking about this company, this store opening in downtown. Rents in New York are off the charts. You cannot cover your rents by selling discounted eggs and late night menu unless you're pricey. So they're trying to find this balance, but I don't think it's worth the 6%.
They haven't been doing this everywhere in the country, but they have been renovating some of their restaurants. I mean, anyone who's selling to the low-income customer right now is taking a beating, so a lot of those chains are trying to go a little bit upscale.
But again, you get a grand slam on your birthday.
On your
that
birthday.
Is the only
if there's
reason
one thing to take away from this.
Clearly doesn't take much. I love that.
It's a try it once and maybe not go back, but it does look like a beautiful restaurant.
It does. Those images were great. Fantastic. I think I'm going to check it out. We'll maybe go for a glass of champagne.
Maybe meet that girl there from the video.
All right. Sounds good. Well, she'll probably be there.